What up, horror fans? Welcome to a new season of Friday the 14th podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Juan. I'm joined by the guys.
What up, Franco?
Who's that sexy horror devil down there?
You down here, I am the 4K bad guy.
What's up, guys? You guys have a good week, a good little off season. Far from off season. I know you guys have been busy, but how's everybody been?
Been pretty good, pretty good. This weekend was busy.
A lot of walking around. It's a whole lot for out of shape guys. So
But as long as you have that dark syrupy drink next to you, we'll have to
hey,
throw a.
talking about drinks. What are you drinking over there, one?
It's just a Coke Zero. I'm not. I'm not. I can't drink
No.
hard stuff like you guys. Oh damn! Look at that. But man, what a week it's been for everybody here, at least on the channel. Thank you for watching live on Imisawa Productions YouTube channel, the Cine-Men Movie Podcast Facebook page. Thank you. I hope everybody has had a terrific month. Summer's getting ready to kick off, so looking back at last season, guys, you guys talked a lot of fun horror movies. I wasn't really a part of last season, but you guys can go back and listen to any of the past episodes of Friday the 14th podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. You guys can find it there as well. So, looking back at last season, guys, is there a movie that just like comes out and just like grabs your attention? It's like, man, that was just a really fun episode, or just a really fun movie that you guys had a conversation about.
I'd have to think about that. Nick can answer first.
I guess I'll give you enough time for stalling. I don't know if it was more the conversation was, but as far as like movie discovery, it's not a movie like I found on the spot I knew about. That was Hell House LLC. That's like a found footage type movie. That was
Was
a
that your
whole.
was that your picnic?
That was I didn't had no picnics, but no, it was a Corvus. He was a
Mm-hmm.
ongoing guest for that season.
I The season finale was back in January with House of a Thousand Corpse. That's always a fun movie of mine to like revisit. I kind of feel like that would have been like a really fun conversation to get into. Um, I think
Like
you guys did Weenie the Pooh too, right? Blood and Honey.
yeah, well the first one.
Yeah.
I
So
like the Halloween 2 episode.
Halloween 2, the
The
one
one
from
of
the 80s.
yeah.
That one gets now that those new Halloween movies come out, that sequel gets a lot of flack, but that's always like one of my favorites. So, but today, guys, I hope you're ready for a new season. We are getting into season 7. We're talking Saw 10. Um, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. But for the most part, you guys can find a Friday the 14th podcast on the social media. It's the Instagram/Friday the 14th podcast. Also, Imisawa Productions on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get on the socials. You also have links to all of the Facebook, or to all of the shows, all of your different podcasts, and keep it right here on the YouTube channel. Follow, subscribe, and get everything you need, whether it's wrestling, movies, horror, podcasts, sports, whatever you need. It's all on this channel. Why go Disney Plus or ESPN Plus when you can just Imisawa Productions Plus, right up your alley, right? Everything's all right here.
Got
So,
someone watching from Brazil.
Brazil.
That's dope.
Um, I was just in Brazil a few weeks ago. No, I'm just messing with you. Yeah. So don't forget, hit us up on the social medias. Other than that, I think we can get into what have you guys been checking out recently. Nick, do you want to start off? Have you watched anything fun, or you want to recommend anything to anybody?
Hmm. Movie wise,
It
I'm
doesn't
trying.
have to be movie
I
wise.
mean, I know
Any
movie wise. Uh,
any wrestling, anything?
Some wrestling.
Yeah.
Kind of get burnt out on some wrestling every once in a while. I mean, I check out
Oh,
the YouTube clips. But
You get
I
burnt
mean,
out in this era?
this era,
That's crazy.
that's the wrong time to get burnt out, brother.
I'm burnt out on everything. No, but I was actually recently watching that show on Netflix, the one about the stalker.
Hmm.
What was it Baby Reindeer? I think it was called. Like 5 episodes in, enjoying it. I mean, of course, gives you it's unsettling.
What was it called? The baby what?
Baby Reindeer.
Uh-oh, baby reindeer.
Yeah, it's what it's called. It's
Is it
about
about like baby killers?
no,
Oh,
it's about I think it's based off of an actual events. So I mean, it's about a
hmm.
stalker woman.
What's up, Johnny?
What up? Baby reindeer. I gotta check that out then. I know you. I know you're into those documentaries,
Documentary.
found footage kind of stuff.
Well, it's not really found footage. It's actual.
Reindeer was trippy.
What
No
else do you have?
spoilers.
You have anything else for us, Nick?
Kind of going blank at the moment. I mean, there's movies that I would put on, but I didn't get to like a full watch through. Like, I think it was like last night or 2 days ago. I tried watching Bedazzled with Brendan Fraser.
Oh yeah, yeah, Brendan Fraser. You just couldn't get into it, or you're like, man, let's.
It was more because I was like already getting tired. It was like close to the night.
Man, yeah.
Man, I love the
Um,
movie. So
some pretty good stuff. You mentioned Netflix. I recently checked out the Tom Brady roast on Netflix, and that thing. If you guys love comedy or stand up comedy, I'd definitely check that out. That thing is hilarious. Um, I recently checked out Monster Squad for the first time. It got a 4K release a few years ago, and it's pretty good. It's a fun little '80s movie. Reminds me of the Goonies and some of those '80s movies if you enjoy. Um, Recently checked out The Mummy and the 20th anniversary of The Crow, 30th anniversary. So Crow's always fun to revisit. If I had to recommend anything, the Tom Brady roast, man, it's on Netflix. Easy access, easy to watch. What about you, Franco? Did you check anything out? Want to recommend anything?
I saw Saw 10.
Oh yeah, I checked out Saw 10 as well.
That's about it. I really haven't been watching. I've been watching Tiff watch My Hero Academia, but I don't. I'm on TikTok, so I don't pay attention.
On TikTok.
But I hear it's a good show, so I recommend that.
Is there anything on the future like you guys want to be like, oh man, you know what, that seems interesting? I want to go out of my way to check it out. Is there anything on that list?
Strangers
Strangers?
comes out this weekend, I think.
Yeah.
yeah, um,
Best, most savage roast I've ever seen with Tom Brady.
That shit was funny.
I think Strangers is like the only thing I could think of right now that I want to see.
Strangers is out there. Abigail is already on like digital, so they're already pulling that from the theaters. So the vampire movie about the little girl.
Oh, is that the one you're talking about, Nick?
yeah, it was a fun watch. I want to say like you need to see this movie, but if it comes across your stream, I recommend giving it a watch.
Maybe we should talk about it soon.
And it's because I'm a little bit biased. I find that blonde girl in Family kind of cute. The what's her name? Catherine Newton. She's been coming out a lot of things recently.
Biased.
Bias.
Just because of the blondes, the blondes, huh? The suckers. I'm talking about the vampires, by the way.
The vampire. No, wait, what?
Um, but we can dig into what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about Saw 10. Unless Franco, do you have anything else you want to mention before we get into it? Saw
Um,
Saw X,
this is
Socks.
the 10th installment of Saw, one of my favorite franchises in horror history.
and I have some questions about that for you. So we'll get into it. Saw 10 had a September 29th, 2023 release date. With a budget of $13 million, it grossed a little over $111 million at the box office. IMDb gives it a 6.6. Rotten Tomatoes is 80%. The Metacritic score is 60%, while Letterboxd gives it 3.2. A sick and desperate John travels to Mexico for a risky and experimental medical procedure in hopes for a miracle cure for his cancer, only to discover the entire operation is a scam. Starring Tobin Bell, Shawnee Smith, Sonia Lund, Stephen Brand, and directed by Kevin uh, Goudier. He sounds French. French man made this Saw movie. So let's dig into it. Franco, you said this was your favorite horror franchise. Did you get to check this out in the theater last year, or was this your first time watching it?
I did see it in theaters last year. I
Nice.
remember walking out of it thinking it was a good reintroduction to the Jigsaw character once they end up, because I think they're gonna come out with more. So that was a good reintroduction to it.
How was it for the revisiting it for the podcast? Was it still a good little watch on a few short words?
I'm not one that likes to rewatch movies unless it's like really, really good, like Scream. So yeah, my rewatch I don't think was that good.
Uh oh. Nick, 4K. Did you check this out in the theaters?
Yeah, as far as theater watches, I've seen 3 times, and rewatch recently. It'll be 4 times in a row.
3 times in the theater for Saw 10.
Oh shit! Now, because originally I planned on seeing it by myself. I think it was like XD or IMAX, but my first time was because Franco invited me to go see it early on.
Nice.
The third time was my brother.
I've only seen this movie 3 times, and I didn't get to see it in the theater. I checked it out when it hit Blu-ray, so I watched it in the comfort of the house, and it was a pretty fun watch. I think I'm opposite of Franco. I kind of disagreed with the viewing the first time around, and then I think the second time around, just digging into it, I appreciated it just a little bit more. So we'll dig into it. Let's talk about it. Spoiler alert: if you have not seen Saw 10, what the hell are you waiting on? It came out last September. Go check it out. Go rent it on your favorite streaming site. Go hit it up at the Walmart. It's probably like $15 already. Saw 10 2023. Let's go. What do you guys think of the timeline? So like the timeline, this is technically in between Saw 1 and 2, right?
One and a
So
half.
yeah, this is one and a half. Um,
Spoiler, Andy.
My apologies.
I think
Tobin Bell comes out.
Speaking
yeah,
English
he's alive.
on Google.
Would you guys agree with the timeline? Did you like it? Was it a little confusing going into it the first time?
I think the whole Saw in general is confusing.
That's true. It starts off like right
all
away
their
too.
timelines are out of order. But yeah, it's cool that they brought back Tobin Bell, but it was just weird. When I first saw it, I was like, I know where in between it was. I still kind of don't know if that's for sure where it's between, but I don't know. It's real weird.
Well, I've heard like, I mean, I'm always on see a lot of news on the internet, whatever. So I knew the timeline was where it's gonna be. Um, so it wasn't too much of a surprise. Although when you watch the film, you're seeing these actors age, so I kind of might throw you it people that are watching like for the first time, whatever, not knowing about the series, which is kind of weird if you haven't watched any of these movies.
I must start watching that Saw 10.
Socks or watch from Spiral. Like what the hell? What is this? Chris Rock.
We'll definitely talk about Spiral a little bit later, but yeah, like I think I agree. Like at first when you go into it, you're a little confused because it doesn't look like they tried to de-age John at all. Tobin Bell, like he's regular old man. He didn't, but I guess I can say he does age very good for the way he looks. Because if you go back and watch the original Saw, he looked old as shit then. So like I I think he aged pretty well. Um, it really makes you feel with the video game Spyro.
Purple Dragon.
Yeah,
Chris Rock.
I would have liked to seen him in a trap.
What movie flashback was it where Tobin Bell wears his hat backwards?
Oh,
See, he was pretty young in that movie.
I love that part.
I think that's
Like
3.
3 or
Three.
4, I think.
Yeah, that was his de-aging process. That's how they made him look
Oh,
younger. They just put the hat backwards. Like, because we can't tell if Superman's not Superman just because of the suit, you know. Um, yeah, it helps you feel bad for the character right off the bat because you already know, boom, he has cancer. He's going through that whole process. He doesn't have 3 months, and then next thing you know, he's on his way to Mexico, seeing a doctor about a guy. No, that's a different movie. Seeing a doctor to try to take the um, tumor out, but I really don't agree with the scam. I know you want to make people feel sorry for John Kramer, but I didn't like the scam of things right off the bat. But I liked it the second time around. What did you guys think of the scam?
I think the first time around, I was just excited to see another Saw movie with John Kramer, so I really didn't mind it. Second time around, if it wasn't for that first Saw trap, it would have dragged even longer. I felt it just dragged.
The second time?
Yeah, because like you get the first Saw trap whenever he's imagining his head.
Oh, with
But
the eye suction things.
yeah, which was a good one. But I'm sure we'll talk about that more. But it dragged on. I don't think he starts getting into the regular Saw movie until about 33, 35 minutes in.
Yep. I agree this second time around. What about you, Nick? I think they also put the first eyeball trap, which is on the cover of the poster. I thought they were going to save that for a later part of the movie, but they're like, nope, here it is, first 10 minutes.
Were you upset that the trap wasn't actually an X and it was more oddly shaped? Like, wait, what was the X? Kind of misleading there.
No.
The scam. The scam. I don't know. It's kind of weird thing. They made it to like where you're rooting for Jigsaw and the whole thing. It's like, are you going for the Devil's Rejects route?
Because if you don't feel for him at the beginning or the middle, you definitely are rooting for Jigsaw towards the last like 20 minutes of the film. Because you're like, man, who's the protagonist here? Who's the one we're supposed to be rooting for? Because you get introduced to Cecilia, who is the one who ends up running the whole scam, the whole shebang. And then you have Shawnee Smith reprises her role as Amanda. I think those are the only two faces. You do get the cop at the end of the movie. What's his name?
Detective Dave Hoffman.
Yeah, Hoffman. You get his voice, but I don't think you ever see him, right?
You see him at the
End credit.
end credit scene.
In credit scene. Oh, that's
Like,
right.
you get two references though in the movie. Why? He mentions about detective when he's on the phone, but you don't hear his voice. I think towards more the end, you hear his audio. I want to say, am I correctly?
So the first game you get the X. We talked about the scam. This is a different Saw from all the rest. Would you guys be interested in seeing more like side stories like this, like maybe in between the movies, or with this one coming out where you're like, because supposedly there's another one coming out in September this year. Not too many details have been leaked about it.
That's the only way you can bring back Tobin Bell to play his iconic character.
Yeah,
Even
they
though I think
killed him off
really
so
doesn't have
early.
Yeah,
Technically, he died in what, the third one, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Then yeah, part 3, and I don't know. I would like to see more, but I want to see more of like Hoffman. I always forget the first guy's name, the one that took over after part 7, the one that chopped off his leg.
Carrie Lewis.
Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon. So I want to see more of that rather than because I think Tobin Bell said this was his last movie, last Saw movie that he's gonna be a part of.
That's probably true because definitely the way the ending sets him up, like he's riding off into the sunset
Mm-hmm.
with Amanda and the little boy, which you don't get any other mention of the little boy. So
I would love to see the little boy like grown up and be, take over. Like
yeah,
when I was watching, that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, that'd be pretty cool. Like, say a movie where he's behind it.
He runs the whole thing in Mexico.
Yeah,
hey,
he got
so
all that
that's
money at the
true.
end.
Maybe they introduce him again later on down the line, like, hey, this is how all the other copycat jigsaws were able to fork up the production for the traps because you think those traps are a lot of money. Who's paying for all those traps? Um, or would you like to see another side story on the legacy of what he left behind, kind of like how Spiral did? I know you guys talked about Spiral, I think, a few seasons ago. Um, so Spiral was kind of like a requel, I guess. Would you guys like to see more stuff like that, or because it's going to
Yeah,
be interesting to see where this one goes?
they left Spiral on a cliffhanger. So yeah, I'm mad about that. I
Yep.
want to see Chris Rock again. One of my favorites.
Faves, always a fave.
Nice.
Um, So if you guys aren't watching us live on Facebook or Emaswap Productions YouTube channel, you can listen to this podcast on audio starting Friday, May 6th, May 17th, wherever you listen to podcasts at. So we're going over like some comments and stuff. So go check us out on the YouTube page as well if you're listening to us.
Subscribe.
So this is a different Saw. You kind of learn how he talks to Cecilia about his hobbies, which I thought was a fun line because it sounds like he's a life coach. And at the end of the day, he kind of is, depending on how you look at it.
Yo,
Um,
sequel.
yeah, but I kind of agree with Franco. I really like this movie the second time around, but after he grabs everybody and gets them into the final game, which is the last hour of the movie, it kind of feels like to me, it kind of felt like it was background noise after that. I really enjoyed the first hour of setting him up with the scam, going to Mexico, but then to me, like the last hour just kind of fell off just a little bit with the final game. You think it was too much time with the final game?
That was way too much time with the final game.
You definitely get all your gore, your there's the scene where she's going through the intestines and she's like, we got our rope. So I appreciate stuff like that. Always appreciate the practical effects. But Nick, what do you think? Was it a little too long with the final game, or were you fine with the 60-minute lead?
I mean, it felt kind of like it dragged a bit. A lot of stalling. Like, I mean, sure, that's your natural instinct or humans would react. But even then, like, you knew it always laughed whenever like they get buzzed or something like that, or like little interferences. Like, oh, I know you gotta do this game. Mm. But yeah, I mean, it did kind of feel a bit lanky there towards the last.
Last few minutes or so. Um, Everybody else really is just like a side character. You have Gabriella, Diego, Mateo, Valentina, Carlos. Um, Everybody obviously dies. So this cast is just built for deaths. There's no really side piece or there's no really character development. You don't need any stuff like that for this kind of movie. Did you guys enjoy most of the deaths? Was there anyone that just kind of like stepped out for you and you had to wrap your head around? For me, it was the guy who was digging into his brain, as in the like the cooker mask closed in on his face. I thought that one was really really brutal. Um, what about you guys?
I liked I think it was Gabriella, the one that she had her arm and her leg, the chemo and everything. I like that one.
She's the one that was like getting burnt, right?
Yeah.
That's the one John tried to save at the end. Like she won her game. She needs to go to the emergency room.
Yeah, the bitch just stepped on her neck.
Ooh. What about you, Nick? Is there one that you'd like to be tied up to? I mean, was there a
I would
game
like
that
to be tied up to all of them. That one, I wanted it to be me so bad for the last one with Jigsaw, but I like a little bit of each one. The brain one was kind of giving me cringe this time around. I was like, oh, like I'll probably just choose the scene earlier before that with the taxi driver. Where
oh
he's just cutting off his arm.
oh yeah, that one was rough too. Especially when it was like cutting through the nerves and stuff. Oof. Uh, what do you guys think about the gore? Is this when a new Saw movie comes out for you guys? Is it like, man, let me go see that movie for the story, for the gore, or do you just want to see what's next? You don't care what they throw us in, what they throw in.
We gone this far, so might as well just keep going. It's like
You just
Fast and Furious now.
oh no, don't don't compare.
Sauce family.
Like I've already seen up to 7. Might as well see 8. I've seen up to 8. Might as well see 9. Is 10 really gonna be that bad?
So then it is just like, you know what? I've been there since day one. I don't care how bad they get or how great they get. I'm just gonna go see it on the big screen just to go see it. That's good. That's good though. We need more stuff like that, guys. We need more people going to the theaters instead of going and lately it's been like in the theater crowd, it doesn't matter what movie it is. When I go, it's like there's like 10 people there, if that. So I'm hoping our good pal Deadpool and Wolverine can change that this summer. Um, what was your theater experience like for that? Like, Nick, you said you went a few times. We'll talk to you about that. Was it was it full? Was it packed? When some of the gross stuff started happening, did you hear any like oohs and ahs or?
When Amanda showed up, I remember hearing ooh,
Oh yeah,
but
Uh, I heard some
other
drooling mouth. That's probably for me, honestly.
whose mouth?
My what?
other than that, I can't remember the experience because it was like almost a year ago,
Oof.
September.
It was a pretty decent crowd, especially for not it being like an IMAX setting. It was one of those smaller theaters.
Oh nice. I could just imagine seeing this on an IMAX, and then the ending and when like he walks away in the sunset, you just hear the Saw trap theme. I bet that was pretty badass. Um, we can talk about Parker, played by Stephen Brand. He's not really a big time actor. Neither's the one who plays Cecilia, but they don't need to be. Um, when you finally get that twist of you think she's escaping and she's with Parker and he's the one who kind of helped. Did you guys like that twist? Obviously, you knew they probably weren't going to kill off Jigsaw because hey, this is before Saw 3. Does things like that ruin movies for you guys? Like, man, you know this is like a prequel, so he's either gonna get out of this or fake his own death.
I hate that type of stuff.
I'm kind of like that with the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, main character, plot safe. I was like, what would they just kill the kid, right? They could go that route, but no, I mean it's John Kramer, Jigsaw. I think had the plan go a different route, he probably would have still got it anyway. See him unscrew the thing like he already had it. They all had planned out.
I did like the way he kind of trapped them in the office with the like the burning gas that eats away at the flesh, like the acid air, or I called it in my notes. I called it the acid Febreze effect.
Massive reviews.
Um, and he always does. He found a way. He Houdini'd his way out of everything. Um, I didn't know that was supposedly going to be his last Saw. So you brought that up, Franco. That was a good bring up. Like that makes me think, like, man, now the ending is really justified if that's true because he did that last frame of him was like away in the sunset. So, what about Amanda? Do you guys like Shawnee Smith and Amanda that much to where you wouldn't mind seeing her own Lady Jigsaw side movie?
I don't think so.
You wouldn't? Would you be opposed to it, or you'd be like, or
I mean,
just
I'd watch it regardless, but am I dying for it? No. I'm dying for a Hoffman or for a Gordon. I'm dying more for Gordon to see Gordon back, but
I could see the Hoffman thing, especially with him being in this the way he ended this movie. So I could see the Hoffman thing. I could even see the Gordon thing because I mean none of those actors are really like getting into anything much nowadays. So I could see them really setting that off pretty quick. But it's crazy that we're in the middle of May and another Saw movie comes out in September and there hasn't been like much
Any,
much news about it.
yeah. I don't know if it's gonna be true or not, but I mean, I heard talks about it being like maybe this one could be set between 2 and 3.
Oh, it's my bad. It's 2025. It's September 26th, 2025. Um, and right now it's in pre-production, and it only says the 11th installment of the film series. Same director though of Saw 10 is coming back for this one. So, but there's no cast, crew, or anything else about it. Huh. Should be fun though. I honestly didn't think this was a bad film. You would think with like the 10th installment, it would kind of probably be like pretty trashy, but not as and it got pretty good rave reviews. I mean, looks like a maybe a 6 all the way across, 60% meta. Rotten Tomato, the critic score really liked it, so um, I think that's always a good thing with Saw and its fan base. Like no matter what the story is, we don't care who's in it. We're just gonna go see it no matter what. Um,
Fast
what
and
about
Furious for you.
Fast and Furious? Um, we can get ready to get into some favorite scenes if you guys want to talk about some of y'all's favorite scenes. Um we can get into it. I would probably say that if I had to pick a scene or two, I would enjoy the uh the second game, right? That's where the guy starts cutting his through his arm. The first game was real fun, and then I kind of like he's explaining with that wire that's getting ready to cut off her head, and she's got to like dig into her leg and cut her leg off. Just him explaining the rules in person this time instead of over a recorder, I thought was fabulous. That's probably one of the highlights of the movie. Is hey, you have him in front of you explaining this shit instead of through a tape recorder like he kind of always did. So, what about you, Nick? Do you have any favorite scenes or what's your big highlight of the film?
Mm. Trying to think of on that one. Hmm. I don't know for none of them really like. I think it all just together. I mean, just as a frequent watch. Like it'd probably be the same thing as I chose for like the game was that whole Mateo. I mean, not Mateo, the taxi driver, or maybe even just him finding out about the whole the scam and everything. Like he takes off the bandage, he just throws that bottle that he had bought for Gabriella. It's like it's all you don't deserve this bottle.
Oh yeah, that's rough. That was rough. That
And that
when
was like
he wanted to go play a little game with Gabriello after that wine bottle.
he thought he had a shot.
Yeah. What about you, Franco? Do you have anything like one of the big highlights or favorite scene from the movie?
I had two favorite scenes that didn't cause anybody dying. Whenever the end credit scene with Detective Hoffman, I like that. And then whenever he's sitting down for coffee and he sees the other cancer patient. This one's more because I follow this person on TikTok. There's a girl named I think it's Jigsaw Girl, and she loves Saw and she always talks about it on her TikToks and everything. She was in that movie. She was the woman that gave him the coffee, and she got to be in the movie because of her love for Saul. So that was
Oh,
like one of my favorite scenes. But like as far as like a death scene or a trap, um, I think I already mentioned it, right? Gabriella, the fire one,
oh yeah,
the heat one. Yeah,
the one on the roaster.
I did like the cutting of the leg as well because like how much time she took. Like if she would have done it as soon as it happened, she would have been alive.
And I don't know if you guys out there watching or listening have it on social media or have it on hard copy, physical media, or even on like streaming. But if you buy the movie on streaming, it comes with all the special features. So if you get to watch the digital copy on any kind of like streaming site, there's like an hour and a half long making of documentary about how the film was made, the special effects and everything. So if you're into like the makeup and all the hard work that goes into these movies, I would highly recommend it. I only watched the first like 30 minutes because I'm like, man, that's as long as the movie was. But it's very very in depth detail. So there's not too many of these. That's probably one thing I would like to say if we can talk about it is like horror movies is probably still one of the only genre that really appreciates and uses like practical effects, like whether it be blood, guts, anything. I think that's what I can always appreciate about that. So, um, before we get ready to talk about what's coming up this season and next week, are you guys ready to talk about star rating, or do you want to talk about some more of the? Is there something else you guys want to bring up in the middle of the movie, or do you guys like the way it ended with him kind of riding off and he got his last laugh?
That was a cute ending. No, but there's also one thing I wanted to kind of touch upon. I mean, because you're talking about the whole leg thing. Had it just been quick enough, she could have survived it. I honestly thought the same thing about Mateo as well. Because when he got that brain piece, it was like going really slow. It was like you're like so close. Um, and also I'm just like upset, man, about the whole Gabriella thing because she did win her game, but of course you got to put some emphasis on the main villain there. Like, well, she's sinister. She don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it really made you feel more for Jigsaw at this point because they did whatever they could to make you really want this guy to like win, survive. Probably I mean, you guys notice any other horror like icon or villain where the franchise sets him up to be like the biggest good guy of all time?
Like
Like this,
Mars
I mean, I never felt sorry for Michael Myers in any of those movies. I felt
and
bad for
Rob
Jigsaw.
Zombie's version. No,
I felt bad for Rob Zombie during that movie.
That's what happens whenever you finish your final movie and then you realize, oh crap, he's an icon now.
Yeah, Rob
Everybody
Zombie,
loves him, so might as well give him reason to love him.
Rob Zombie had to finish his story.
like Clay Rhodes.
But yeah, they really make Jigsaw feel like the biggest good guy of all time.
Mm.
Um, we can dig into the star rating already, guys. If you want, we can 1 out of 5 rating for Saul 10. The man who's seen it the most. We'll start with you, Nick.
Oh, put me on the spot.
Put you on the spot. Put you on that Saul G Gabriella spot.
Hey, um, I want to go ahead and give it a 4.5. What's the famous saying we have on this podcast?
Was it Machetes?
Danny
Yeah,
Trejo's.
4.5 machetes right here.
Danny Trejos.
Danny Trejo's
See, 4.5 Trejos.
tacos.
Tacos or Trejos? Which one? Loaded tacos.
4
One and a
loaded.
half. Four loaded.
4.5. That's pretty high, Nick.
I want to give it
Generous.
2 loaded tacos.
Oof. Out of everybody here that would talk about this movie, I was like, man, I'm excited. Episode 1, I want to talk about Saw. I think Franco's gonna like it. He loves Saw. And then, out of everybody, that's not bad though. Two's okay. That's reasonable, right? Like, would you
2.5.
watch it? 2.5?
Yeah.
Would you watch it again?
If I binge watch all of them, yeah.
Would you put this one after Spiral, or would you really watch 1, this one, and then 3?
You mean like in order of watching?
Yeah,
Oh,
like if you did a marathon.
I'll put it wherever the internet tells me to put it. Honestly,
There we go.
but if we're putting like a order of do I like this one over Spiral, I prefer Spiral over this one.
Oh wow.
Bold.
Hey man,
I-
Chris Rock. They left us with a
Chris-
cliffhanger, but damn it.
I do feel like this one is maybe about 25 minutes too long. I think if they cut this one down to like hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, I think it's just enough.
I think that's how most of them are. Is about like an hour and a half. It's quick in and out.
Yep.
And this one just dragged too much on the.
The
It
ending.
made it drag too much to make him likable when everybody really loves him.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I'll give this I'll give it 3. I was gonna go 3.5. I was even thinking about going just a 2.75, but I'll do a solid 3. Just for the simple fact, I think it's a little too girthy. I don't think a Saw movie needs to be a full 2 hours. Like Franco said, in, out, ask her how she was, and then leave her at the back door. I think, yeah, hour and a half is perfect for these movies. Spiral proved it. Jigsaw proved it. Hour and a half is all you need. So, with that being said, 3, 3 for me. So, but next week, if you guys are out there watching, listening, commenting, you guys commented a lot during the opening of the podcast. Let us know what you thought. Let us know your star rating or your Trejos rating of Saw 10. Is it a 1? Is it a 5? Let us know. You can also hit us up on the social medias. Let us know on the Instagram at Friday the 14th Podcast. You can also email Swap Productions on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, or Facebook, and you can listen to us on Spotify. Yeah, let us know your rating, man. That's one thing I like about doing some of these podcasts is I get to hear a lot of other people's opinions. So, but this season, this year for us is going to be pretty fun. Hope you guys enjoyed kind of like the opening little first episode, season 7. Is it hard to believe that you guys have done like 7 seasons of Friday the 14th podcast?
Yes.
I do like how every season though also feels completely different from the others.
It
It's
started
fan-
with me and Manny, went to me, Manny, Nick, and Fuentes. Me, Fuentes, and Nick. Fuentes and Nick. To Nick and Juan. What was that season? Corvus, Nick, me, Andy, and then we're here now.
There was a lot of you guys last season, yeah.
Drew made the special occasion.
So next week was Franco's pick, right?
Correct.
We get to hang out and talk about Lowlifes. I haven't seen anything about this movie, no trailer, no spoilers, no synopsis. But from the poster, it looks like it's a vampire movie.
I have no idea what this movie's about.
Oh shit!
Was it
I was
blood
on
from mouth?
TikTok, and someone said that this might be the best horror movie of 2024, and then I scrolled past it, so I wouldn't hear any spoilers. So
So you
hopefully
did-
this is all the first time watching for all of us.
Is definitely going to be a first time watch for me. What about you, Nick?
What it was like it's a Tubi exclusive, isn't it?
Yeah, to
I
be
believe so.
exclusive.
Not sponsored, by the way, but I know I've not seen it, heard about it. Looking at the picture, I thought it was the girl from Fallout, but looking it up, it's not. Got that the eyes look very similar.
It does look really interesting. We'll talk about what all the other um, platforms are giving it. It looks pretty decent. The synopsis doesn't look too bad, so I'm definitely interested. I can't wait to watch this. This will be episode 2, season 7 next week. Um, and I think we kind of agreed we'll just announce the movie what we're doing like maybe the week or two before, just in case there's any changes along the way. But Low Life looks pretty good. And then Nick, you picked 2 weeks from today, Wednesday, May 29th. We'll talk P2.
I think that's more of like a Christmas theme movie, but a little bit early. But
There's no relation to T2, is there? There's no Terminators in that movie.
could be. No.
It's platypuses in this one.
So it should be a fun season, guys. Is there anything that you guys are like want to accomplish or looking forward to with this next season of just hanging out talking horror movies?
I want to put on Tubi. Tubi has some horror movies that I want to watch. I'm going to be picking a lot through Tubi.
So there you have it.
There you
Nick,
have it.
Tubi, are you a Tubi fan too?
I think I've been on the Tubi train for a while now. I've seen the shout 'em out a lot. I think it's wild that Tubi's gotten bigger since then. Now that to the point they'll make their own original films or producing, either or. But
Still a fun go get. And I think it'll also be good to see where Tubi goes from here. We'll talk about that movie next week, along with probably another conversation about Tubi. So, and like I said, guys, if you're out there listening or watching, let us know how we do. Let us know if you enjoy the show. If there's any tweaks or anything we can do to make the rewatchability better.
Throw
Go
out
check out.
suggestions.
Oh yeah,
Maybe we'll pick one of them.
exactly. So we can. I've done that on some of the podcasts I've been on. Somebody throws in a suggestion, we cancel that entire movie and just do what the listener suggested. So maybe we could even have an entire a listener suggestion month. So email, comment, pick out 4 movies if you're watching or listening, and maybe we can dedicate a whole month to viewer's choice. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. Friday the 14th returns next week. Is there anything you guys want to add today before we get on out of here and set sails to Low Life?
I got nothing.
you know,
I got nothing.
just
Nothing. Nick, you're about a quarter of that liter in the 2 liter of Dr. Pepper.
which
man,
one? No.
I don't see how you can.
Sponsored by Doctor. Just it's good to be back on Friday the 14th. It's been a bit since we've all been on here. Looking forward to the movies we get to see, even if it's a revisit.
Oh, if y'all see any of the new Oreo Sour Patch Kid cookies, don't try them.
Are they trash?
Yes. Wasted money on a whole pack, and I was very upset.
Did you finish them all?
I threw them away.
No,
no.
get them out of the trash can so I can try out.
I didn't throw them away. I threw the one I was eating away, and my daughter threw the one she was eating away too. But
Oh dang, that's how you know you messed up. If a kid doesn't like it, it's bad.
yeah,
Nick, before we get out of here, I have one question. The Dr. Pepper cream coconut. Did you like it?
I've not tried that one.
Get out of here!
I enjoyed it.
Hey, look, I'm a Dr. Pepper purist. I'll just go with the regular one. If I have a chance to taste a variant, I'll try it, but it's not anything I'm gonna rush to.
So Franco liked it. Good, thanks, Franco. I enjoyed it too.
Tastes very coconutty.
I'm not
Yeah.
even a fan of coconut, so I'm not in a rush for coconut. I
But
like
it's-
coconuts. Coconut shaped things.
It's got DP in it. I thought you would,
DP, I love that DP.
So, but yeah, I think that'll do it for us here. Hope you guys enjoyed a brand new episode, new season, right here, Friday the 14th podcast. If you guys don't have anything, I think we'll let's go see Low Lifes, and we'll talk to you guys next week on another new episode of Friday the 14th podcast.
Peace.
Have a
Love.
good week.
Tacos.
Stay ultra.